Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Here at Take Two at the Green Room in Dundalk. Jason Heppel. This is Indie Wrestling Q&A with my guest, Rage TV champion Chris Clow.
Thank you for having me, Jason.
How long have you been wrestling?
I signed up at Boom Breakers in 2002. I had my first match a year later in 2003 at MCW's Last Dance show, the Shamrock Cup. Since then, it's just been kind of back and forth. I've wrestled since then, but actively wrestling in Maryland, it's probably only been about 2 years.
How did you get into MCW?
When I first signed up at Bone Breakers, that was one of the things was you would have your first match at MCW, and my first match was a Battle Royal. And after that, MCW closed its doors, and I became a referee because I was too small and didn't weigh as much as I do now. So they made me referee, and because since I knew how to bump and fall, I would get slammed or beat up by the other guys whenever they need that to happen. And finally, chips fell into place, and I finally got a shot.
How long have you been training?
Every day. The training never stops with wrestling. You're always trying to improve yourself. You're always trying to get better. Always trying to get better. Always trying to train. When you think that you know it all, that's when you should honestly stop, because you never stop learning in this business.
Who were some of your influences growing up?
There's been a lot of people. I first knew I wanted to be a wrestler when I saw Bret Hart. Hulk Hogan was the first wrestler I actually saw, and I was full force Hulkamania. And then when I saw Bret Hart come out, I knew I wanted to be a wrestler. Ever since then, when I watched it, I loved Randy Savage, I loved Ted DiBiase. You know, I wasn't so much on the Ultimate Warrior, I liked the Big Boss Man. And of course, you had the developmental guys like the Goon back in the day and Doink the Clown, things like that, I liked them. I mean, there's just so many people list, it's hard to narrow it down.
How did you get into the inner circle?
It's funny. I was training when I got fired as a referee. J.P. Callahan bought my contract out and took it to a lawyer and showed that I could never referee again, but they said nothing about wrestling. So we started wrestling, and I was training under Gilbert and the Holy Rollers. They were retraining me to wrestle, and J.P. Callahan sold my contract to Dr. Tony Daniels, who had this great idea in his mind about being a winner and what a winner takes, and he knew what it takes. And he remembered and saw me back when I first started training at Bone Breakers. So he bought my contract out, we started training more together, we started gelling as a team, we had the same ideas, had the same thing in mind, and that's how we came up with the winner circle.
Who was your dream opponent?
There's a bunch. I'd love to wrestle Bret. I'd love to wrestle Hogan. Sadly, I'd love to wrestle Savage. As far as the new era kind of goes, I'd love to wrestle John Cena. Everybody says he sucks, but he works hard. He knows his stuff. He can wrestle, but there's no reason for him to. He does so many other things. I'd love to wrestle Cody Rhodes. I'd love to wrestle Kofi Kingston, Randy Orton. There's just so many guys that are just so good out there at what they do, and they're just underrated. So I mean, there's a lot of dream opponents. I can't, again, narrow that down to one. It'd have to be a Survivor Series tag.
What has been the toughest match you have competed in?
That was my first actual match in Maryland, which was me versus Joey Matthews, who was Joey Mercury in WWE. That was an MEWF show, and I figured I was refereeing, and they told me when I get there that I was going to wrestle Joey. And that was, I guess you could say, an indie dream come true, because I've always liked Joey. I loved watching him wrestle. I loved when he would come to Bone Breakers to train and show me things. And I was always willing to learn, always wanted to wrestle Joey and just learn from him and watch him, and he knew that, which is why he would beat me up at Bone Breakers. And I just learned so much, though, you know, wrestling him and getting beat up and beating him up and stuff like that, that when they said, "You're wrestling Joey tonight," I was like, bleh. You know, I didn't know what to do with it, but it was a great match. It's still my #1 favorite match.
What has been the favorite match that you were the referee in?
I'd say Kevin Nash. The match I had with Kevin Nash, simply because I took the jackknife. I loved him when he was Big Daddy Cool Diesel and the powerbomb with the jackknife. I loved it, and I took the jackknife, so that was really cool. I'd say just on the cool factor, that was awesome. My favorite match besides that would be Ryan McBride versus Patrick Brink. That was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember the exact show. I think it was a Holiday Hell show. And that match was just outstanding. It was the first match on the card. You could feel the magic. You could feel the electricity in the ring. And it was great. I can't honestly tell you what it was like to be in there. It was just amazing.
How long were you a ref?
I was a ref for probably about, if you combine it, it was 3 or 4 years here, and then 2 years at MEWS, so maybe about 5 or 6 years. The only place I ever wrestled was or only refereed was in Maryland, and that was with EWA, and that was with MCW, that was with MEWF, because they really didn't know. See, he's a loser. That's why I still walked away with this today. You're no winner.
I beat you.
No, it says in writing that I won.
I beat you.
It says in writing I won. You lost. You're a loser. You couldn't let go of the hole.
Tapped like a bitch.
No, I didn't. I was falling asleep.
Like my bitch.
I was banging on the mat in anger, and then I fell asleep because you're so boring. See, that's why he's not a winner. He's a loser. But anyways, I'd say it was probably 6 or 7 years. I refereed in Maryland. That was in Maryland only. And other places that wanted me to referee in Maryland or out of Maryland, I told them, no, I'm a wrestler. And a lot of people didn't know that because they've only seen me referee.
What are the pros and cons of being a ref and a pro wrestler?
There's not really. If you're a ref and you like what you do, you don't want to get involved in the physicality of it. You just like being a part of the show, and that's your deal. I totally get that, but I love being able to connect with the people. I love making the people boo me, making people cheer me. I love the fact that I can wrestle in front of 500 people, or 100 people, or 3 people, and have their emotions in the palm of my hand. And it's a good feeling knowing that you can do that and to be able to entertain people, whether I'm getting beat up, whether I'm beating people up, things of that nature. I like that. That's addictive to me.
What do you like to do outside of the ring?
I build replica movie props. I play video games. I love watching hockey. I'm a huge Capitals fan. I hate football, which I'm one of the rare guys that will admit that. I hate football, but I love hockey. I just bought a house. My girlfriend, we actually just bought a house together. So we're working on fixing that up. That's pretty much it. I build replica movie props. I do music. I listen to it. I try to edit some things out. That's one of the things I've done with the Winter Circle, was combine the 2 themes together. And I mean, there's a lot. I like writing and taking pictures and just hanging out and having a good time.
What are the 2 themes that are for the Winter Circle?
What's that?
What are the 2 themes for the Winter Circle?
My song is called Adrift by the Term City Saints, and then when Paul Miller and or when Paul and Mitch rather come out, they come out to Hollywood Undead, and what I did was, there's an Offspring song called Neocon, which is the drums you hear in the beginning, and he says, "We will never lose to you." It was a 2-minute song, but I cut it out so you just hear the drums in the beginning, and then it cuts to him saying, "We will never lose to you," because we won't, we're winners, which is why I won tonight. And then when that's done, the entrance will fade in, which is when I come out, you'll hear the bagpipes fade in. When we either come out as a group or the tag team comes out, Hollywood Undead fades in. So it all really depends, and that helps define which one of us is wrestling in the match. And the fans realize that, because tonight, they were quiet when the drums hit, and then when they heard the bagpipes coming, they knew it was me, and they started coming up.
If they made a movie about Chris Clow, what actor would play you? What would the title be?
I honestly don't know what the title would be. I don't describe the way I live my life or anything like that with a movie title, or anything like that. I don't think it can be described. I would just, maybe a day in the life of, and it would just say Chris Clow. And as far as the actor who could pay me or play me, they would have to be very energetic and you know, be able to willing to just not care, 'cause that's what I do. I don't care what other people think. I'm set in my ways, I guess you could say. I like to have fun and bring people joy. I'll probably say Andrew WK would be the perfect person to play my role, because I learned a lot from him and his music, and it's helped me out. And I've met him tons of times, and I absolutely love the guy. He's so awesome.